Welcome to a video where I can help you figure out if you need a game in 10 minutes or less. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. My name is miahtheking, and I had a really good time travel joke for y'all, but you didn't like it. Now then, thanks for sticking around and checking out this video. Out of all the others out there, you chose mine, and it makes me feel very humbled. Hopefully you chose just mine, but hey, you know what? If you chose others too, I'm okay with that too. Just give me a little bit of attention. Today we're taking a look at a game that was just released called Sword of the Sea, an atmospheric puzzle game, and I experienced that one for myself, where you basically surf around or skateboard around while on a sword instead of a skateboard or surfboard. Why am I looking at this game? Good question! I typically don't play these kinds of games, and overall didn't really think this one would be that good for me either, but I kept seeing it all over the place, so I decided to see what all the hubbub was about. So what even is this game, and is it even worth it? Developed and published by Giant Squid, this game is, well, basically what I said earlier. I can't even really tell you more than that since the game decided not to include a whole lot of context anywhere, or world building, or lore, or dialogue, or anything really. Released not in early access and selling for $30 Renos. So yeah, honestly, this is typically not really my style of game. I typically tend to stray towards RPGs or simulation games, sometimes strategy, but almost never atmospheric. I have my reasons, so I was a little hesitant coming into this one. But I will say that upon entering the game, I was fairly impressed with the overall graphical quality. The art design is rather charming and leads to some powerful visuals throughout your gameplay. And it only got better from there as you continue to traverse through the world and complete puzzles. Typically it's destroy 3 of these, or wrap 3 bubbles around yourself and deliver them to a tortoise mouth, or some such thing. You know, perfectly normal objectives as any good gamer knows. And thus doing so unlocks a giant golden door so you can then do it all over again, but this time with more time wasted or something, I guess. Yeah, it's a little bit repetitive in its gameplay. But I was talking about the graphics, right? So let's go back to that. Overall, I really enjoyed them and found the quality fairly decent with great lighting, contrast, color choices, and overall style. It worked really well for what it was going for, and it was nice to watch. And another good thing was they had a whole lot of different biomes that you could enjoy. And the biomes were very different enough that they didn't feel samey when I went from one or the other. Here you're seeing all the different biomes that I've discovered so far, so yeah, that was kind of interesting, and they were all really well done as well. As I played the game, I became more and more familiar with the actual mechanics, the gameplay. You slide around everywhere, which I suppose is to be expected of a game like this, and wasn't even that bad, like you would expect it to be in a lot of games like this. But the majority of the gameplay is sliding around collecting things or solving puzzles. They mix it up here and there by allowing you to unlock certain ways of travel, like surfing on air currents, or surfing up seaweed, or hopping on floating jellyfish, but it's all still pretty much the same with very little differences. You can unlock a sort of gold currency within the game, who you then paid to some masked stranger guy who teaches you new skateboard kickflips or flip kicks. I don't know what the kids call them these days. But since those flippy kicky kicks don't really do anything at all for you, it's not even remotely necessary or recommended to waste time searching each map for every single one around. Overall, the gameplay itself was fairly boring and mundane, to be honest. The soundtrack though, now that's a good one. I mean, for an atmospheric game, you really need to have some powerful music and sound design, and while the sound design was fairly average in quality, it was utilized really well to work in tandem with the moment and the music to create a more powerful experience. Obviously this goes for the music as well. The music was extremely powerful and trying really hard, like really hard, to force me into a certain kind of mood depending on what I was looking at. And honestly, I didn't hate that. As for the writing, what writing? There's barely any. The little bit of writing that you get is from these little, I don't know what you call them, monolith things, and it's very confusing and vague and nonsensical, and overall just feels like it's trying too hard to sound vague and mysterious, but not in a charming way. More of a way that I feel like I could just skip it and not really miss anything. Makes me realize why there's no actual writing anywhere in the game, because I don't think they really had a writer here. I mean, you get these vague, bland messages about this, that, or the other, and that takes up way too much space and tries way too hard to sound important or mysterious, but just comes across as annoying. I get the gist. Chosen warrior, evil snake god. Got it. The production value is pretty awesome, though. The game uses many different camera angles, lighting, and combination of different elements, along with frequent but brief cutscenes, which are blended carefully into the gameplay to enhance your overall viewing experience, and it worked really well. In fact, I was continuously, while playing, I kept thinking to myself, the production quality here is just simply amazing. The way they blend the gameplay visuals to the actual gameplay itself was really well done and definitely helped me further immerse myself in the scene playing out in front of me, and the seamless transitions to and from gameplay to cutscene. It was just really good. Like, it was really good. Like, I couldn't tell the difference between one or the other sometimes, and it was just, yeah, sorry. I keep saying it, but it was just really good. As for the stability, the game is fairly questionable. Now, the game worked really well for me, but so personally I didn't experience any issues, but I see online that other people have, so keep that in mind going forward if you choose to invest in the game. Good for me, but might not be for you. Along with that, the game offers controller support and can be played on Steam Deck. On the downside, those stability issues I mentioned as well as length of play, we're talking maybe 3-hour game, which to me is a really big issue, especially for $30. Speaking of the price tag, I don't agree with it. I feel like they got a bit greedy. I'm considered generous in this particular way of thinking I'm about to reveal, but they couldn't even meet my so-called generosity in terms of dollar per hour gameplay, and I'm not the one who said it was generous. It was all my people watching who said that I was being generous, but I feel that for every $5 spent, I should get at least 1 solid hour of gameplay. With a rumored 3-hour playtime, thanks Polygon, that means this game should be around $15, which means they're charging double what I feel it should be worth. However, I might also be so inclined to be okay with maybe even a $20 price tag simply from the visuals and overall production quality. When you include their zero voice acting, and I can't help but feel like that price tag is simply too much. So, what are my final thoughts on this little game I randomly decided to look at because I had nothing better to look at this week? Well, I think it's a really good game, but it's also charging far more than it's worth, despite it being really good, but that is of course going based on my own personal opinion and preference. I love the visuals, I love the sounds, I love the way the game pulls me in and almost mesmerizes me. It's just vague and mysterious enough to make me want to keep pushing to see the next thing or find out what's going to happen next, but at the same time, it makes a few choices that I didn't really agree with, and the price tag is obviously included. But I'm about to show you a scene, and I want you to watch this scene, and it's going to be coming up right about now, but they basically spent up a lot of time building up this giant snake you're looking at, as if he's some kind of god eater. In fact, they actually said things like even the gods themselves were afraid of this particular snake. But then watch as the real main character shows up to save the day and fights it off. Kinda... Oh, right. You're not even the main character. Like, you're not even the hero. I forgot to mention it. Yeah, you're just some guy. See this chick, this girl right here, the one who saves you from the snake? Yeah, she's actually the hero. She's the main character, not you. Despite everything you've been doing up to this point, changing the environment and saving the world and everything. No. It turns out you're not even the main character. This is supposed to be the main character, and I really don't like that either. It's not having to do with the fact that she's a girl, by the way, in case any of you are thinking like that. No, it's more of like, I hate it when you're leading me on, making me think that I'm the hero, making me think that I'm the chosen one with the blue sword and the blue outfit, and then you've got the red sword and the red outfit being portrayed as the bad guys. Then when I finally meet the red sword wearing, red armor wearing, red sword person, and you even think you're going to get this epic duel, but no, it just turns out that they're actually the hero and you're just some guy. And that's a bait and switch that I really don't like. In conclusion, I think this is a really interesting atmospheric game that was designed really well, and it's really interesting and immersive. It's really good, but it's just not worth $30 to me. So if you wanted a small little game to play for a few hours to distract you from real life, I mean, it'll serve that purpose, sure, but it lacks replayability, it has no choices, and it's fairly short, which means the money you'd be spending would be a purchase for something that you could only enjoy the one time. Take that information and add it to its low-end stability, lack of writing, and other negatives, and I just can't really recommend it. Spending $30 on this game would honestly just be a waste of your money in my opinion, because you'd only play it the one time and most likely you'd never pick it up again. Again, not saying it's a bad game, it is a good game, maybe even great for its genre, but with the lack of dialogue, voice actors, choice, risk, replayability, and not even being the main character, then asking for $30 for 3 hours, and I just can't find a reason or a way to justify it. My recommendation would be to add it to your wish list and wait for a sale or something. If they bump it down to 20 bucks, then have at it and enjoy. But until then, I personally just don't feel like it's worth it. Alright, so that's all the time I got for today, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.